Hello and welcome to another lesson from Level Up Mathematics. In today's lesson, we will be exploring the surface area of cylinders. Before we do, let's review the definition of a cylinder. Cylinders have two bases that are circular. So in the example shown, we have one base at the top and one base at the bottom. They also have one curved lateral surface. The height of any cylinder is the distance between the two bases. So for this example, the height of this cylinder would be 6 centimeters because that's the segment that connects the top base to the bottom base. In example 1, it said a cylinder and its net are shown below. Use the net to find the total surface area of the cylinder. Leave your answer in terms of pi. So when we unfold a cylinder, what we end up with is this a circle top and the circle bottom, the two bases. And then if we unfold the other part, we have a rectangle. Now, the area, if we want to find the total surface area, I need to find the area of each circle, the area of the rectangle, and then add all three of those parts together. So let's start with the area of the circle. The area of a circle is pi r squared. So if I wanted to find the area of this circle, all I need to know is the radius. So this would be pi times 8 squared. So area would be 64 pi. Now, if I know the area of this circle, I also know the area of this circle. So I've got 64 pi and 64 pi. Now, the area of the rectangle is a little bit more confusing. We know this length on the rectangle is not 18. I don't know why I wrote that. We know that this measurement is 10 because that is the length that connects the two bases. But to get the length of this rectangle, remember, we're going all the way around that circle. So that is our circumference. And our circumference is 2 pi r, which in this case would be 2 pi times 8, which would be 16 pi. So I know the length of this rectangle is 16 pi. So I've got the area of the circle. Now let's get the area of the rectangle, which is just length times width. So this would be area equals 16 pi times the 10. So the area of the rectangle would be 160 pi. So I'm going to label that right here. So now I have three separate areas, and all I need to do to find the total surface area is add them up. So I have 64 pi plus 64 pi plus 160 pi. So I'm just going to combine like terms here. 64 plus 64 plus 160, and that gives me a total of 288 pi. Remember, we're leaving our answer in terms of pi, so we're not converting it to a decimal. And our units would be inches squared. So there's our total surface area. Now, the formulas for lateral and total surface area are very similar to the formulas for other prisms we've studied, even though they're going to look a little bit different. So to find the lateral surface area, now let me remind you what lateral surface area is. Lateral surface area is the surface area of the figure excluding the bases. So it would just be this part right here. That is your lateral surface area, just that rectangular part. And the way we find that in words is circumference of the base times the height. So that would be 2 pi r h. So the circumference of the base is the 2 pi r, and then times the height. All right. Now, the total surface area, remember, for total surface area, we need that lateral surface area of the rectangle plus the two circles. So that would be 2 pi RH, that's the rectangular part, plus the area of the two circles. So I'm going to put a 2 because we have two circles, and the area of a circle is pi r squared. So there's our formula for total surface area. Now let's practice using these two formulas. So in example 2, it says use the table to help you find the lateral and total surface area of the figure. So we have a cylinder here that has a radius of 9 feet and a height of 7 feet. So if I'm asked to find the lateral surface area, I will use the formula S equals 2 pi r h. Then I'll substitute in my values. So this would be S equals 2 pi times the radius, which is 9, times the height, which is 7. And then I'm going to leave my answer in terms of pi. So to calculate this, I'll just multiply the 2, the 9, and the 7. So 2 times 9 times 7. And that will give me 126 square feet. Oh, I forgot my pi, excuse me. Let's see if I can squeeze that in. 126 pi square feet. Now, if they ask you to express it as a decimal, that's fine. Just take your calculator and put 126 times pi. So expressed as a decimal, we would have 395, if I round to the nearest tenth, 0.8 square feet. Okay. So if it says in terms of pi, you need a pi in your answer. If it says expressed as a decimal, you will not have this pi symbol in your final answer. Now, what if we asked for the total surface area? Because remember, the lateral surface area is just the area around here. It does not include the top or the bottom. To get the total surface area, then we want to include the top and the bottom. So that would be 2 pi r h plus 2 pi r squared. So if I substitute here, I already know the 2 pi RH. The 2 pi RH was 126 pi. I'm getting that from right here. Okay. And then 2 pi r squared, so 9 squared. So if the surface area in terms of pi, this would be S equals 126 pi plus, let's see, 9 squared, whoops, I need a new line here, 9 squared times 2. This is 162 pi. Now, if you're not sure where I got the 162, I multiplied this times this, okay? Then I just want to combine like terms. So 126 plus 162. So the total surface area in terms of pi would be 288 pi square feet. If they ask for it in decimal form, you'll just multiply 288 times pi. So 904.8. 904.8 square feet. All right, now let's look at some of the type of problems that will be on your assignment. In example 3, it says solve each of the following. So in problem A, it says the dimensions of a cylinder are shown in the diagram. Find the lateral surface area. So I'm going to highlight that because it's important that you use the correct formula. In square centimeters, round your answer to the nearest tenth. So let me go back up here. Our lateral surface area was 2 pi RH. So that's the formula I want to write down. 2 pi RH. Now, the radius in this figure shown would be 5.8 divided by 2 because they gave you the diameter. So let's calculate that. 5.8 divided by, whoops, 5.8 divided by 2. So that is 2.9 units. The height is 7.6. So now I just want to evaluate this formula. S equals 2 pi RH. So I'll substitute 2 pi, and I'll replace the R and the H with parentheses. For the radius, I'll plug in a 2.9. For the height, I'm going to plug in 7.6. Now, because this problem asks me to express my answer as a decimal, I'm just going to type this all straight in to the calculator. So I'll say 2 pi times 2.9 times 7.6. So it asks me to round to the nearest tenth, so this would be 138.5. 138.5, and our units would be centimeters squared. All right, example B. An architect uses a cylindrical container to protect her blueprints. The dimensions of the cylinder are shown in the diagram. What is the total surface area of the container in square inches? Round your answer to the nearest hundredth. So I want total surface area this time. So capital S equals 2 pi RH plus 2 pi R squared. And in this problem, we know that the radius of our shape is 3 and the height of our shape is 15. So to evaluate this, I'll take 2 pi times the radius times the height plus 2 pi times the radius squared. And then I'm just going to plug that long expression straight into my calculator because it did ask me for a decimal answer here. So 2 pi times 3 times 15 plus 2 pi parenthesis 3 parenthesis squared. Okay, so let me give you a chance to catch up with me. 2 pi times 3 times 15 plus 2 pi times 3 squared. And if I'm rounding to the nearest hundredth, that would give me 339.29. The units here are not centimeters, they are inches. So inches squared. 339.29 square inches would be our total surface area. All right, problem C. A can in the shape of a cylinder has a diameter of 6 centimeters and a height of 10 centimeters. What is the total surface area? Now, just want to highlight what they're asking for so we can write down the correct formula. So total surface area is 2 pi RH plus 2 pi R squared. Let me give you a chance to write that down. Now, on this one, I highly recommend kind of drawing a little picture here to show you what's going on. Don't laugh here at my drawing abilities, but I'm going to try to make a can here. So, they gave us the diameter, which is 10 centimeters. All right, so my radius would be 10 divided by 2, or 5 centimeters. They also told me the height was 10 centimeters. So I've got a radius of 5 and a height of 10. So if I want to evaluate this formula, we'll say 2 pi times 5 times 10 plus 2 pi times 10 squared. And again, because they want us to express this in decimal form, I can type this entire expression straight into my calculator. 2 pi times 5 times 10 plus 2 pi times 10 squared. So if I round to the nearest hundredth, we're going to get 942.48 centimeters squared. All right. In our last example, it says a plastic wading pool is shown below. What is the total surface area of the, oh, I'm sorry. It says if the total surface area of the pool is 219.9 square feet, what is the height of the pool rounded to the nearest whole number? So our formula here for total surface area is S equals 2 pi r h plus 2 pi r squared. So our radius is 10 divided by 2, or 5 units, and we do not know the height. Okay, we do not know the height. So we're going to solve. So for my capital S, I'm going to plug in 219.9 equals, now I'll substitute everything in that I know, 2 pi times 5 times h plus 2 pi times 5 squared. So that's the first thing you're going to do. Now, before you move on to the next step, let's simplify the right side a little bit. So 219.9 equals, in this first expression, I can multiply the 2 and the 5 together to get 10 pi h. Over here, I can multiply this and this together. So 5 squared is 25. 25 times 2 is 50 pi. All right, now what we're trying to do now is find the height. So I want to get, excuse me, I want to get this h by itself. So step 1, I'm going to subtract 50 pi from both sides. So 219.9 minus 50 pi would be, I'm going to write it down as 62.82 equals 10 pi h. Now, again, what I'm trying to do is get this expression by itself. So I need to divide both sides by 10 pi. So 62.82 divided by 10 pi. And our instructions said round to the nearest whole number. So 1.9996 would round to 2 feet. So the height of this swimming pool must be 2 feet. And that concludes our lesson, surface area of cylinders.